Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for standing by. I'm Kritika, moderator for the conference call. Welcome to Nucleus Software quarterly earnings conference call for the quarter and half year ended on 30th September 2022. As a reminder, all participants will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Ms. Swati Ayuja. Thank you, and over to you, Swati.
Thanks, Kritika. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Swati from the Investor Relations team at Nucleus Software. A big to all of you for this Nucleus Software earnings conference call for the quarter and the half year ended on September 30th, 2022. For discussion, we have here from the management team, Mr. Vishnu Dusad, our Managing Director, Mr. Parag Dhise, CEO and Executive Director, Mr. Anurag Mantri, CFO and Executive Director, Ms. Ritika Dusad, Executive Director and Chief Innovative Officer, Mr. Brajesh Khandelwal, Vice President, Neo Business, Mr. Ashwani Arora, Senior Vice President, Global Customer Success Team, Mr. Ashish Khanna, Business Head, Financial Inclusion, Mr. Tapan Jaiswal, Financial Controller. As you all are aware, Nucleus Software does not provide any specific revenue or anything which is said during this call which may reflect our outlook for the future or which may be construed as a forward-looking statement must be reviewed in conjunction with the risk that the company faces. An audio and transcript of this call will be shortly available on the investor section of our website, www.nucleussoftware.com. With this, we are now ready to begin with the opening comments on the performance of the company for the quarter and half year ended September 30th, 2022. And post that, we would be available for the question answer session. With this, I now pass over to Vishnu sir. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Swati, and warm welcome to all of you for this special quarterly earnings call. It is special because this quarter we have completed 30 years of creating intellectual property on Indian soil. This is an extremely important aspect for us because 30 years back when India was getting into software business, India as a country, we were not, our professionals were not described in very glowing terms. So we felt that we need to do something about this, and that is how we thought that we must create intellectual property on this very soil. And we are glad to let you know that we have completed 30 years this quarter of that achievement. Over these 3 decades, we have been able to create absolutely world-class intellectual property that has helped India to make strides in retail lending. Today, we are looking at retail assets in the banking industry worth 80 lakh crores. This number would not have been possible without a robust product, robust intellectual property, which would ensure that the loans are given to the right people, the repayments are tracked properly, and in case of default, the collections are made in a meaningful manner. It is only this rigorous discipline which has enabled the retail lending industry, which was almost non-existent 30 years back, to take such a sizable shape of having 80 lakh crores of retail assets. We are absolutely delighted that we play equally important role in the transaction banking space. We are processing today 6 to 8 crore transactions per month on our platform Finaxia. We remain confident that with our sustained focus on delivering value to our customers, they would continue to lead the pack in their respective domains, and they would be able to deliver value to their end customers. With these words, I would now like to invite my colleague Parag Dise to take the conference forward.
Thank you so much, Vishnu, sir, for your address and for guiding us and inspiring us all these years. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome you all to this investor call. It is indeed a moment of great pride for all of us, and I guess it would be for all of you as well, that your company is completing 30 years in the software IP business. It has been 30 years since the visionary leadership of this organization led us to have our first product from Nucleus software that came out from Indian soil in this domain. I would like to congratulate you all as well on achieving this milestone. As regards this quarter, this has been an interesting quarter for us, yet another interesting one. Attrition is thankfully showing a downward trend, and indications are that now it may settle down here, thanks to both, I think, the significant steps that we have taken in terms of salary revisions that I've been talking about, as well as market dynamics easing out, probably due to the global economic indicators. We still need to, however, keep a close watch on this very important aspect. We have made slow but very significant progress on the AMC revision front that also we've been talking about, with one more large customer agreeing to and signing up for a significant rate revision on the AMC front, in addition to a couple of them that have already signed earlier, about whom we had updated you earlier. There are a few more customers and large ones at that, whom we are pursuing very aggressively to close in Q3 and Q4, and the impact of these revisions would be visible in the financials of next 2 quarters. The AMC journey is a complicated one and time-consuming one, as with each of our customers, and especially considering that we are looking at very significant revisions as compared to the ultra-deep discounted pricing that we have been doing all these years. And our customers are not used to such requests coming from our side. But once we are able to communicate the value being delivered to them in numbers terms, in most cases we find an in-principle alignment. We also spoken about improving our project management capacity and capability in the past for ensuring smoother executions, and I'm pleased to inform you that we are taking specific steps to improve this situation. And the key initiatives are one, intense project management trainings from industry experts that are personally being supervised and monitored by Anurag, my colleague, who you'll hear in some time during the Q&A. Also hiring from premium institutes, MBA institutes, some industry experts from other industry who come to us with experience. This is an experiment that we are trying out, and we are really getting some encouraging response already. We also taken multiple initiatives for enhancing our branding and our visibility, with Nucleus participating in leading fintech events in Philippines, Dubai, including just last week in the Singapore Fintech Festival, and in Australia simultaneously. We have garnered great response from these events, and we are confident that these events will help us amplify and enhance our market image. Thank you so much, and welcome you all once more. Over to you, Swati.
Thank you, sir. Now it's with Tapan, sir, to put some light on financial number.
Hello.
Hello, yeah, Mr. Tapan.
Hello, Swati. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Completely audible, please. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Highlights from financials are: as for revenue, our consolidated revenue for the quarter is at rupees 130.1 crore against rupees 128.8 crore quarter on quarter, and rupees 114.1 crore year on year. Overall revenue in foreign currency, including India rupee revenues, $16.6 million for the quarter against $17 million quarter-on-quarter and $15.5 million year-on-year. Product revenue for the quarter is at rupees 106.2 crore against 108.0 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 93.2 crore year-on-year. Revenue from projects and services for the quarter is at rupees 23.9 crore against rupees 20.8 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 20.9 crore year-on-year. As for expenses, cost of delivery, including cost of product development for the quarter, is 76.5% of revenue against 75.6% of revenue quarter-on-quarter and 81.5% of revenue year-on-year. In absolute terms, this is rupees 99.5 crore against rupees 97.4 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 93 crore year-on-year. Marketing and sales expenses for the quarter is 4.3% of revenue against 3.3% of revenue quarter-on-quarter and 3.6% year-on-year. In absolute terms, this is rupees 5.7 crore against rupees 4.2 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 4.1 crore year-on-year. G&A expenses for the quarter is 10.6% of revenue against 9.9% of revenue quarter-on-quarter and 10.8% year-on-year. In absolute terms, this is rupees 13.7 crore against rupees 12.7 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 12.4 crore year-on-year. EBITDA for the quarter is at rupees 11.2 crore, that is 8.6% of revenue, against rupees 14.5 crore, that is 11.3% of revenue quarter-on-quarter, and rupees 4.7 crore, which is 4.1% of revenue year-on-year. Other income from investment and deposit at rupees 6.9 crore against rupees 3.9 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 8.4 crore year-on-year. Total other income for the quarter is rupees 8.8 crore against rupees 6.2 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 9.5 crore year-on-year. Total taxes are at rupees 3.9 crore against rupees 4.7 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 2.4 crore year-on-year. Net profit is at rupees 11 crore for the quarter against 10.8 crore for quarter and 8.6 crore year-on-year. Other comprehensive income is rupees 1.6 crore for the quarter against rupees 0.02 crore quarter-on-quarter and negative 1.5 crore year-on-year. Total comprehensive income, which includes net profit and other comprehensive income, is at rupees 12.6 crore for the quarter against rupees 11 crore quarter-on-quarter and rupees 7.1 crore year-on-year. EPS for the quarter is at rupees 4.12 as against rupees 4.02 in the previous quarter and 2.95 in September 30, 2021 quarter. In terms of foreign currency hedges on September 30, 2022, we had $3.45 million of forward contracts at an average rate of rupees 80.05. There is a mark-to-market loss of rupees 72 lakhs, which is taken to hedging reserve in the balance sheet. Revenue contribution from the top 5 clients for the quarter is 28.5% against 26.2% in the previous quarter. The order book position is rupees 572.9 crore, including rupees 538.9 crore of product business and rupees 34 crore of projects and services business. In June 30, 2022, the order book position was rupees 562.5 crore, including 527.7 crore products business and rupees 34.8 crore projects and services business. As for total cash and cash equivalents, as on 30th September 2022, it's 558 crores against rupees 551.1 crores as on 30th June 2022. This includes balances in current accounts of rupees 33.6 crores, various schemes of mutual funds rupees 409.6 crores, fixed deposit of rupees 30.8 crores, investments in tax-free bonds of rupees 78.8 crores. rupees 5.2 crore in preference shares. With regards to receivables, we are at rupees 73.5 crore against rupees 68.2 crore previous quarter. During the quarter, there is a gross addition of six assets of rupees 0.73 crores, consisting primarily of rupees 0.44 crore on software, 0.16 crore on vehicle, 0.09 crore on plant and machinery, and 0.04 crore on computers. I'll hand over it to Swati.
Thank you, sir. With this, we are now ready to open our question and answer session. I will now hand over to Kritika. Over to you, Kritika.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask a question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. First question comes from Vaibhav from Honesty and Integrity Investments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for providing the opportunity. Last quarter we talked about some of the AMC revenue which we have not recognized. Has it come during the quarter or not yet? Those contracts are still under negotiation.
Thanks, Vaibhav, for raising this question. As I mentioned in my opening remarks, yes, one customer has got converted, but though it happened after the quarter end, so real impact is not visible in this quarter's financials, but you'll see that in the quarters coming in. And as I said, there are advanced and very positive interactions happening with at least 4-5 other customers, which we expect to close in this financial year.
Okay, understand. And lastly, the number of employees that we have at quarter end, if you can provide that number.
Parag, I will take that. Parag, I will take that. Anurag said. Thanks, Vaibhav, for asking this. Our employee strength stands at 1,695, which is a decrease from the previous quarter. But one thing which is very, very encouraging, as mentioned by Parag also, that our attrition in this quarter had been lowest among multiple quarters. And this attrition is also not of the experienced professionals, but the youngsters, the young minds. So that's very, very. We would like to arrange this also, but that's a very, very encouraging reversal what we are observing now.
Okay. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We are having a question from Deepan Shankar from Pressline TNS. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks a lot for the opportunity. So, firstly, wanted to understand, what proportion of our old customers who have been already moved to new pricing norms? So, just wanted to check that.
Percentage terms, but as I said, we had already talked about two large customers already earlier in the past investor calls, and one more large customers already. So 3 in total. And as I also mentioned, I'll repeat that at least 4-5 in this financial year more we are expecting.
Okay, so when do we expect that these kind of incremental revenues to flow in our revenues?
Q3 and Q4.
Q3 and Okay, thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We are having a question from Tamal Singh from TTF. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I was dropped off the call. I just need some clarification on this booking of this AMC revenue. So in quarter one, I was led to believe that we had not really booked any of the AMC revenues and it was deferred. So can you just clarify, was any AMC revenue booked in Q1 or, because you mentioned I think 2 clients had already moved, had already agreed to revise pricing by then.
Yes, in Q1 we did book that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any, can you give what is the delta in terms of how much of the revenue has not been booked so far?
No, giving delta would be difficult, but as I said, you'll see the impact in our next quarter and the next 2 quarters.
Okay. And can you share for the domestic revenue, what percentage of it comes from PSU clients?
Sorry, can you please? It was not very clear. Can you please repeat?
What percentage of revenue comes from public sector banks?
Oh, very minimal. You would know from our client list that we are not so much into public sector, so it will be minimal.
Okay. Good. And one last question. We've heard about increased, competition from, one of the large global CRM players in this space. Would you like to comment on that? And they're coming in at very, very low price. Is my understanding correct? And we'd like to just talk about that a little bit.
So, 2 parts to it. There's, as regards competition, yes, especially in the origination part, we are facing that competition. That's definite, and we are taking steps to counter that. You mentioned about pricing at a very low pricing. That is not our understanding. I don't think they are coming in. As per our inputs, those information is not so easily available, but very low pricing is not our understanding for sure.
Thank you. I'll get back to you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We are having a question from Rahul Jain from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi. Thanks for the opportunity. Just first a clarification on the order book number. The voice was not very clear. If you could repeat that number.
Sorry, Rahul. There was some disturbance. We are not able to hear you clearly. You'll have to repeat that point.
Hello, is it any better?
Yes, it is better.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to understand the order book data that you have shared earlier. Could you repeat that? I was not able to follow that. Hello. Yes, sir. So the order book position is rupees 572.9 crore, including rupees 538.9 crore of product business and rupees 34 crore of project and services business. In June 30th, 2022, the order book position was rupees 562.5 crore, including rupees 527.7 crore of product business and rupees 34.8 crore of project and services. Right. Thanks for that. Secondly, on the this qualitative thoughts that we have
share in terms of, the initiatives taken on the talent induction from campuses and then industry experts, and also on the fintech participation across market. So if you could share in terms of what are the initial positives that have come out of these initiatives, or you would say that these are too early for us to figure it out, the outcome of those?
So on the talent front, definitely there are positive, because this exercise we had started last year, as I had been updating that we had inducted 400 plus freshers from colleges. After training, a large number of those are already on our floors, being part of the project teams, and they are contributing to the revenue. As regards the other initiatives of project management training, capacity building, and the participation in various events, those have started lately. Impact of that would come in later quarters, probably next year. But yes, the impact of the talent, the fresh talent that we had inducted last year is already visible.
And any benefits accruing from this collaborating with industry expert and fintech conference participations?
Sorry, just to clarify, the update on industry experts was that we are taking help from industry experts to build project management capability in the organization. So it's essentially training and sharing of their knowledge. So it is that kind of collaboration. And fintech festivals, we are participating there, so our visibility is increasing. A direct positive impact of that, I think, will take some time. But for sure, our visibility is increasing. That we can experience.
Right. And regarding this AMC revision exercise, you have quantified that cumulatively in this year we will be pitching it and potentially converting 5 to 7 customers on the revised pricing. How we plan to roll out to a much larger universe that we have? Will most of them will see this in the coming year, or this is any which way is limited to select few customers, and that's why the exercise would not be very large in coming quarters?
Okay. So discussions are happening with much larger number of customers. So ultimately our attempt would be to do it for everyone. Why I said 5 to 7 is, of course, because that's what we are looking at positively converting in this year. And I had also said in my opening remark, since the revisions are significant in scale, with each customer there is significant time investment that we have to do, the kind of preparations, the number of meetings, etc. So it's slow progress, but it is definite progress.
Okay, so but maybe probably over 2 to 3 years, this could be rolled out to the entire client universe.
Yeah, I don't think we'll go to the third year. I think max within 2 years we'll need to get this done.
Sure. And just lastly, any thoughts on how the demand in the market is shaping up across 3 or 4 key markets that we operate in? That how it is changing both from an opening up kind of a perspective, and secondly from the volatile macroeconomic situation.
So demand continues to be there. We are getting good traction from the market. That's what I've been also updating in the past. The volatility in the global markets yeah, as of now, there is no impact that we see.
So, if you look at this current quarterly performance also and looking at our order book situation, is there any specific reason why we were not able to have some traction in this quarter?
Okay, if you're referring to this in revenue terms, yes, because that's why I specifically talked about that one conversion, which happened after the quarter closure. So it's just a matter of timing, I would say, and nothing else.
Right. And just last question, what percentage of our revenue could be dollar invoiced and 2 or 3 major currency that we are invoicing into other than rupee, if you could share that?
My understanding is in the range of 60, but maybe Tapan, you can give some precise inputs. Tapan, Anurag, do you want to comment on that?
Hello?
Yes, Tapan.
Parag sir, could you repeat the question?
I think the question was that what percentage of revenue is in dollar terms, if I understood it.
And foreign currency.
And other major foreign currencies.
Hello.
Yes, I'll revert it down shortly in few minutes. Yes, sir.
Sure. Those were my questions. I'll come back in the queue.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Rahul. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We are having a follow-up question from Tamal Singh from TTF. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the follow-up. I think in a couple of calls ago you had mentioned the 2 main drivers that we're focusing on for this year. One was basically getting this AMC revision through, and I think we are seeing traction on that. And the second one was on converting clients from FIN1 to FIN1 Neo. Could you talk about the status of the second driver, please?
Yes. Thanks for raising that. Yes, we did talk about those 2 key initiatives. And while we talked about the AMC revisions already, on the second front also the conversions have started to happen, I would say. So there are implementations which have started in at least in 4 accounts already, and there are more in the pipeline.
And so when a client moves from FIN1 to FIN1 Neo, what is the effect on the P&L?
P&L, yeah. So effect, of course, we expect a positive impact, but precise, I don't think more than that we have info at the moment.
The way you may want to look at it is, in FIN1 we had multiple versions. In FIN1 Neo, all our customers are going to be on a single version. So that is going to make a huge difference on how we support that single version. So we will be saving some costs on the support front, and customers will be having a very even more robust platform.
sort of pulling on that thread a little bit. I imagine your large customers are pretty used to their customized FIN1 that they have. So how easy has it been? Or we've launched FIN1 Neo for a while. Are they converting? What are the struggles you're facing in being able to convert them to FIN1 Neo?
So you raised a very valid point. That is a challenge definitely we face, and it takes time for us to convince them, especially with large customers. At some stages, we have to build some additional capacity in the. We talked earlier about a layer that we have outside our core product, where some reporting capability or some complementary functionalities can be built in. So it's a combination of both this and convincing the customer, showing them the value of the new product that has come in, both technologically and functionally advanced, and the benefits that they would derive because of upgrades. So all those discussions happen. Yes, it is challenging. It takes time. It is easier with smaller customers, no doubt about it. But you raised a very valid point.
And apart from what Parag has said on convincing the big customers, I think when they are able to see the value through the large number of APIs that would be available the moment they go live on our FIN1 Neo platform, the speed with which they will be able to integrate with fintechs and other solutions, and in some manner reduction in hardware and also reduction in license cost for the database, etc. benefits. The customers are now looking at it in a manner that they want to. They would rather leverage the 100 additional benefits, and if required, let go of the additional 5 benefits or 10 benefits that were accruing to them because of their own customizations.
I see. So, out of our top 10 customers, how many are on FIN1 Neo?
Sorry, I think the question is not very clear.
Out of our top 10 customers, how many are on FIN1 Neo?
At least 2 or 3. One of them partially, because these implementations are very large. So the customers also go line of business by line of business. So there are a couple of customers who are partially converted, a couple of large customers fully converted.
Okay, so is it fair to say that assuming we can go from a couple to the top 10 customers being on FIN1 Neo, we should see a reduction in our costs?
No, I am not very clear on the question. What are you implying?
Vishnu sir was saying that FIN1 Neo is one product for
yes.
all customers. So the cost of maintaining that would be lower than maintaining different customizations for every customer as we currently do on FIN1. So my question is, once our top 10, assuming our top 10 customers can get onto FIN1 Neo, would that reduce? Would that result in significant cost savings for us?
Yes, I guess that's a fair statement. Once they are all converted, there will be significant reduction.
And last question from my side, the two geographies, Far East and Southeast Asia, at one point were contributing anywhere between 30 to 40 crores of EBIT to the bottom line. And as of today, they're still in losses. So what is happening there, and how will we proceed in these two geographies?
So I will take that. As I in fact indicated in the last quarter also, that in both these places, in both these geographies, we had and we are having good business pipeline, very strong pipeline. But our capacity to execute that pipeline was impacted because of immigration controls. Those controls have been lifted and the things have come to normalcy now. So Far East is very close to again being in black, and the same will happen for Southeast Asia as well. So and during this time when we were constrained as well, the customer delight was ensured, which is now going to help us in rebounding the things quickly. So next quarter should be absolutely fine for these two geographies in comparison to the current one.
Okay, so essentially what you're saying is the top line, the revenues are there, it's just that we're not being able to execute it because the travel restrictions have not been had not been lifted, but now that is sort of taken care of.
So I will say order pipeline is there, but that might not be concluded or executed yet.
Okay. All right. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, if you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Please go ahead.
Perhaps to answer on the last question, right, on the major currency part. So we are having three currencies majorly: USD, Singapore dollar, and INR, where major revenue is coming.
The question was on the proportion, I guess.
Yeah, so major portion is coming from US dollar, Singapore dollar, and INR. That is the majority.
Do you have percentage figures? Rough percentage? That was the question, I think.
So it will be close to 89-90% is coming from these three major currencies. Hello. Actually, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. I was
Yes.
just wondering if there is any follow-up question.
Ritika?
Thank you, sir. Ladies and thank you, sir. There are no further questions. Now I hand over the floor to Ms. Swati Ayuja for closing comments. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ritika. Thank you so much, Ritika. Now we would like to thank all the investors for joining us today for this call. I would now hand it over to Vishnu sir for his closing comment. Over to you, sir.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your continued interest in Nucleus Software, and I would like to reiterate our commitment to build a long-term value-adding entity in the corporate world. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Buzz conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.